Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is going to be a little different because we're going to talk about everything that's been happening with Enhypen from a more psychological point of view. I want to look at why people react so differently to big changes in a group, why emotions can be so intense in fandoms, and why there really isn't one correct way to process everything that's happened lately. You guys know I always say that there's no right or wrong way to process things. We all have different minds, different experience, so it makes sense that we all react differently too. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, you'll understand why people can have completely different perspectives on the exact same situation. With Enhypen having their first concert in Latin America, which was the Brazil stop, I watched it on TikTok through an engine who was doing a live and I got so much FOMO. The concert was amazing and the vibes were amazing. Of course, I was expecting nothing less from the Brazilian engines, but I was really curious about the fan chants, not gonna lie, and it turned out to be a mix of OT6 and OT7 fan chants, and of course, I was expecting that. To be honest, there are obviously going to be a lot of mixed opinions about the OT6 and OT7 fan chants. If I had been able to attend, I would have been singing the OT6 fan chant. And why? Before you come for me, the 6 members who flew on a plane for almost 30 hours to Brazil and have put so much effort into rearranging everything these past few months, including the choreographies and songs, are the ones who are present at that concert. I've also seen a lot of comments saying that his song contributed to the songs and everything, and you're right. I know 100% that he gave his all to those songs while he was part of Enhypen, but his song Now Called Evan is focusing on his solo career right now, and you can tell how excited he is to promote his own music. He's moving on, even though many of us, me included, didn't want to accept the fact that he really wanted to pursue a solo career. At the same time, I also understand why some people still feel differently about everything that has happened. Our brains don't really adapt to change overnight, especially when something has been part of our lives for such a long time. Something else that's really interesting is how our brain connects music and people to different stages of our lives. After following a group for years, they slowly become part of your daily routine without you even realizing it. Maybe you listen to one of their albums while you were in school, during a difficult time in your life, or when you were really happy. After a while, your brain starts liking those songs, performance, and even the members themselves to those memories. Sometimes you hear a song you haven't listened to in years, and within seconds you remember exactly how you felt during that period of your life. The same thing happens with groups. They stop being just artists that you listen to and they become connected to your own personal experience. They remind you of who you were at that moment, what were you going through, and even the people you shared those memories with. Because of that, when something changes within the group, it can almost feel like one of those memories is changing too. Of course, the memories themselves are still there, but the feelings attached to them can become a little confusing at first because your brain has to adjust to a new reality. Our brains also tend to look for familiarity because familiar things make us feel safe and comfortable. After seeing the same lineup for years, that image becomes what your brain recognizes as normal. So when that changes, it's completely natural to feel like something is missing or different. It doesn't necessarily mean you won't end up loving this new chapter too. It just means your brain needs time to create new associations and new memories. Everyone builds emotional connections differently and everyone processes change at their own pace. That's why two people can experience exactly the same situation and have completely different reactions. That's exactly what we've been seeing in the fandom these past few months. Some people hear the OT6 fanchants and feel like they're supporting the members who are standing on stage today. Other people hear the OT7 fanchants and feel like they're honoring all the memories they've built over the years. One of the most interesting things about human psychology is that people often assume that if everyone sees the exact same situation, everyone should naturally reach the same conclusion. Our brains don't collect information like a camera, they interpret it. Every experience we've had, every belief we've developed, and even our personalities influence the way we understand what's happening around us. That's why two people can watch the exact same concert, read the exact same statement, or see the exact same announcement and come away with completely different emotions. One person might see hope and a fresh start, while someone sees uncertainty or loss. Neither person is necessarily ignoring the facts, they're simply interpreting those facts through a different perspective shaped by their own experience. Social media also makes it really easy to forget that because we're constantly surrounded by other people's opinions. It can start to feel like there's only one correct way to interpret a situation. Maybe if more people remember that, fandoms would become much healthier places where people could simply share different perspectives instead of constantly trying to prove each other wrong. To me, being OT7 means respecting and having a 6 members now while also supporting Evan and his solo career. That's what OT7 represents to me. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all in another podcast very soon.